I try my best to watch as many movies as I can the weekend of release, but every so often I'll find myself slacking. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about a brand new Shudder release, Slaxx. Let me know in the comments before we begin what your thoughts on this movie were. If you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Slaxx. This takes place in a trendy clothing store over the course of one night. When a possessed pair of jeans begins to kill the staff, it is up to Libby, played by Romane Denis, an idealistic young sales clerk, to stop its bloody rampage. This is directed by Elza Kefart, who also co-wrote the screenplay, and this is her third feature film. It premiered at the Fantasia Film Festival in summer of last year, before getting a Shudder release today. This reminded me a bit of a number of films, including Rubber from 2010, In Fabric from 2019, and most recently Bad Hair from last year, all of which dealt with this inanimate object killing people, usually in some darkly comedic manner. I'd say of all these films, this might be the one that has the most to say. I thought it was going to be something more in the vein of this mindless, campy experience, where everything's over-stylized and there's a self-awareness to it. Kinda similar to how Rubber was, and I'd say maybe to a degree there was a little bit of that in here, but it's not as over-the-top as you think it would be. There certainly are some really funny moments, like we'll see the jeans take on these unique characteristics at various points, including one scene in particular I found to be pretty funny where it's about to sneak up on one of the employees, but then it hears her music and begins dancing along with her without the employee realizing it. Also, some of the shapes it takes worked as well, like the way it'll twist and contort itself to move throughout the store was kind of fun. There are times it takes on like a frog or toad-like shape, where the opening is the mouth and the two back pockets are the eyes. So things like that were cool, though while at times it can be silly, at its core the film is ultimately taking a swipe at consumerism and corporate culture, particularly in retail, and it uses a horror lens to deconstruct how horrible that environment can be, as well as how disgusting some things can be behind the scenes. What winds up happening is, as some of the dead bodies begin turning up early on, the store manager Craig, played by Brett Donahue, tries covering the bodies up as he fears it would hurt business, and he tries to keep things operating like nothing happened. When Libby indicates she wants to report the dead bodies, Craig gets her to go against that, as he tells her it would hurt the store and her fellow employees, and he gaslights her into going along with the idea that it would be bad to report what's going on. And as we dive a little deeper into things, we find out there's more to this than just a random pair of jeans going after all these employees, though I won't spoil what it is exactly. I will say though, I really appreciate the film's messaging, and I think it makes the points it's looking to make pretty clear, regarding how businesses often put their profits over people's lives, so for that, I can appreciate it. I also appreciate the film's dark sense of humor, as well as the fact that it would get bloody and over the top whenever the pants would attack. Because of that, overall I'd say I had a pretty good time with this. Though, could we have gotten more out of it? Absolutely. The film's only an hour and 15 minutes, and while I understand that maybe the filmmakers were afraid of possibly overstaying their welcome, we could have gotten some more out of this. While I liked Libby and thought Craig was a decent antagonist, I would have liked if the film dove deeper into some of the people working at the store, as well as get even more into this corporate culture, as the satire would have had even more of a bite to it then. Now, had the film decided to go into full-on B-movie, campy, ridiculous, over-the-top territory, then it wouldn't necessarily need to worry about all that stuff, especially not having to go too overboard with character development. However, it decided to go in the opposite direction, going for a satirical approach with a pretty concrete message it was trying to convey. And I would have liked had they hit their point across a bit more. While it was clear enough, they could have really played around so much more with the toxic environment of retail and corporate culture, exploring some of the dynamics among all these other characters. But outside of Libby, Craig, and one of the co-workers named Shruti, played by Sehar Bohani, everyone felt disposable. The sequences of the pants going after a lot of these characters were fun, but most of the characters were basically there to play up a caricature for a scene or two, only to get immediately killed off right after. And I think with such a short runtime, there was definitely room to explore more. Slaxx is a solid enough movie for what it is. I appreciate it for its clear messaging around consumerism, its moments of dark comedy, and its moments of bloody violence. And the few characters who we do get to spend time with, that's more than just a few scenes, were likable. And while all those elements made for an enjoyable film overall, it still felt like it held back in terms of satire. With many characters feeling disposable and sometimes only scratching the surface of the points it made, we probably could have gotten more out of this. Though it's still an enjoyable movie for what it is, and if you have Shudder, it is worth a watch. Slaxx gets a 7 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Slaxx or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the messaging of this one? Do you have a favorite horror comedy? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.